Have you ever thought about what is the the superlative of some area, some place? Like, I was just thinking about what is the quietest place in the world. I would love to know what that is. I'm curious if, like, is it the North Pole, somewhere just in the middle of nowhere, where there's no sound, no nothing, it's just really quiet and creepy? Who knows? Who knows? 'Cause I sure don't. Anyways, hello everybody, this is that Manga Dude, and welcome to another pickups video. Today we are talking about the wonderful month of March. March 2025. These are all the pickups I had. Got a lot of really cool stuff. Got a lot of review copies for manga, so I will be talking about all of those, and I will be labeling them as we get to those. But I also just picked up a lot of great manga across the board, some old stuff, some new stuff. Yeah, excited to get into it, and it's going to be a really fun one, so let's get started right now. Alrighty, so if you've never watched a pickups video from me, the way this usually starts is the first section is going to be manga from publishers that are A, defunct, B, I didn't get a heck of a lot from. So yeah, let's get started right now with a new publisher, funny enough, and that is going to be the second volume of Eden of Witches from Yumeji. So yeah, I read the first volume a couple months ago and I thought it was awesome. I think the art is fantastic. It's really gorgeous. Very Witch Hat Atelier-esque in terms of a very realistic art style, but very different in terms of like how the story is being told in the world that is we're currently in with this series. It's a really fun one, really solid fantasy series just across the board. Yeah, I think you'll have a great time with this if you decide to read it. Coming up next, I picked this up because it looked pretty cool. This is Song of the Hanging Sky, Volume 1 from Toriko Jin. And yeah, I don't know much or anything about this series, honestly. I just really like the cover. I think the cover looks gorgeous. And yeah, it looks like it's going to be kind of interesting. Just, you know, I did some flip-throughs of it. It looks like the art's pretty solid across the board. It is from a defunct publisher, so yeah, I don't know how excited I am about trying to find the volumes, but yeah, cool to have the first volume, and probably will be reading it at some point in the near future. Alright, coming up next from Dark Horse, we have ourselves Oh My Goddess, Volume 4 from Kozuke Fujishima. This is the series that I have been slowly but surely picking up because I read the first volume and thought it was great. And yeah, one of my local bookstores has quite a few of the singles available, so I've been picking them up slowly but surely. But yeah, the series follows a story about a kind of down on his luck guy. It's this guy right here. And he wishes basically upon a star for somebody who could like help him with stuff. So this lady comes down out of nowhere and he wishes for her to stay by his side forever, so she does, and he finds out that she is a goddess and she has extremely powerful powers. So yeah, it's about their kind of like situations and all this kind of stuff and their budding relationship. So it's pretty silly, it's pretty goofy, very 90s-esque, so take that as you will. But yeah, I enjoyed the first volume and I'm excited to have another volume of the series. Alright, up next from Denpa. I didn't even know this came out, but this was Under Ninja Volume 5 from Kengo Hanazawa. This is the absolutely ridiculous, goofy, kind of like urban ninja series. Follows a story about an urban ninja guy who's like part of like this like the secret organization that like has all these ninjas that are out throughout Japan, and he's kind of like one of the weaker links, so he gets sent to do a job at this high school, and it's just about like the silliness and ridiculousness of it all, while this also kind of like action thriller is taking place in the background. So it's pretty fun. It is just very strange and very out there, but I've been having a good time with it, so happy to have this 5th volume. Alright, coming into Square Enix, and let me explain myself. We have ourselves My Dress Up Darling Volume 1 from Shiniki Fukuda. Yes, so I was talking about this in the last pickups video, but the way that I'm going to be making this video where my friends were choosing series for me to read, and this is one of the series that my friend chose, so yeah, don't know how I feel about that, but I guess we'll see how I feel about the series when I decide to read this next month. Alright, coming up next from Seven Seas, we have ourselves Dinosaur Sanctuary Volume 6 from Itaru Kinoshita, and research consultant is Shinichi Fujiwara. I have talked about this series at length on this channel, and that's because I really do think this is a fantastic series. I love it quite a bit. Really fun slice of life series. Follows a story about this girl here who's totally fallen in love with dinosaurs and has decided to start working at a dinosaur sanctuary. Basically like Jurassic Park if it actually went as coordinated or as correct as it should have been, not the way that it ended up happening. So it's a great series. The writing's fantastic, the art is very good, and there's a lot of really interesting, like, kind of like actual facts that are sewn in between the story and also within like the blurbs throughout like various parts of the volumes. So yeah, overall really great, and I'm happy to have the 6th volume. And also from 7 Seas, we have ourselves the Volume 4 of BL Metamorphosis from Kaori Suratani, a really lovely, cute series following a story about this older woman who basically asks for a suggestion one time while she's at the bookstore, and gets a suggestion to read BL from this girl here, and it's about their budding friendship and how they kind of like bond over BL manga. So it's funny, it's silly, and also really heartfelt, and just, I don't know, makes you feel all warm and fuzzy. It's just really nice, and happy to have another volume, and I will continue reading this soon. Alright, coming into Tokyo Pop. So this is all retro Tokyo Pop, so it's all pre-bankruptcy. And first up, I picked up Dream Saga Volume 1 from Megumi Tachikawa. Don't know anything about the series, I just know that the mangaka is the same mangaka behind Saint Tail as well as Mink. So yeah, happy to get this. It was on a pretty decent sale, and it's in fairly good condition other than yellowing, but I mean, I expect yellowing for these older volumes. But yeah, excited to have this, and I will be reading it hopefully soon. And as well, we picked up Jing, King of Bandits Volumes 6 and 7. I believe this is the rest of the original series. I know there's a sequel series called Twilight Tales, I believe, or Jing, King of Bandits Twilight Tales, so I will be picking that up eventually. But yeah, pretty interesting, fun little action series following the story about this guy here, who is the King of Bandits, and it's about his, like, kind of adventures throughout the world doing various things. So it's pretty fun. It gives me that very old school 2000s, like, kind of old school Kingdom Hearts slash like the bouncer kind of style. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, and excited to continue reading it. And I bet you were not expecting a bouncer reference in the good old age of 2025, but here we are. Anyways, into the next section, we have ourselves from Kodansha. I picked up Hauntress from Minataro Mochizuki. This is supposed to be a pretty creepy horror series, and yes, it looks very, very creepy. So don't know much about it, I'm going to be completely honest, but I will be reading this hopefully soon, and then I will give my full opinions on it when I have read it. Up next, of course, I've got to pick up the next volume of Sketchy from Maki Hiroshi, a wonderful, fantastic series, slice of life, almost like a coming-of-age series as well, following a story about this woman who works at a used video rental store, and she's kind of lost her passion and kind of lost her way, doesn't really know what's going on, having like a midlife crisis, until one day she discovers skateboarding and decides to pick it up as a hobby herself, and it's just a really lovely story about self-discovery and following your passions and just enjoying life for what it is. It's really great, and I genuinely think it's an extremely underrated series, and if you haven't picked it up, you probably should, because it's really, really good, honestly. And yeah, happy to have that 5th volume. Alright, and another peak series, and that is going to be Medalist from Tsuru Maikata. What an absolutely lovely series. This is volume 7. I genuinely think this is probably one of the best series releasing right now, and if you haven't started reading it because you're like, oh, it's sports manga, actually it is, and it's fantastic, it's remarkable, it's beautiful, it's really well done, it's endearing, it's just well crafted, executed perfectly, and I am super much enjoying it. And if you think it has something to do with, oh, all these kids are in these skimpy dresses or whatever, you could shut up, because it's not even like pedophilic at all. Just as a note, it's really well done. Like I said, it's tasteful across the board. It's such an amazing series, and I love it so much. She is great. I love her character. She's wonderful, and she's a great rival as well. So yeah, volume 7, happy to have it, and I will be talking about this in the reading log. And last but not least, from Kodansha, we have ourselves Sayonara Football, Farewell My Dear Kramer, Volume 7 from Naoshi Arakawa. This is a soccer series that I've kind of been holding off on for a bit, just because I read the first couple of volumes and I got a little confused. I don't know why, maybe I'm just being like silly, but like something about the storytelling was a little bit off for me. But it is the same manga behind Your Lie in April, which is one of my favorite music series of all time in terms of manga. And yeah, basically this is a soccer series by the same mangaka. And yeah, excited to continue continue reading this. I got this for $2. That's why actually I picked it up in the first place, because I had been holding off on buying the series. But yeah, because it was cheap, I was like, oh, might as well. All right, coming in from Yen Press, these are all volumes that were provided to me as review copies, and yes, they are as follows. We have ourselves Sacrificial Princess and the King's Beast's Heir, White Rabbit and the Prince of Beast, Volume 1 from Yu Tomofuji, which I will say I'm really grateful that they provided a review copy for me, but I also have not read the original series, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to understand what the series is about, but it is what it is. Up next, The Failure at God School, Volume 1 from Odomu Akawagara, Natsuhyuga and Seikaisha. We have ourselves The Anemone Feels the Heat, Volume 1 from Ren Sakuragi. The Boy Who Ruled the Monsters Before I Knew It, the Ultimate Specialized Support Skill Left to the World's Ultimate Party from Katsuyuki Tamon, Sin Guilty, and Nakamura 8. And last but not least, Super Ball Girls from Muneyuki Kaneshiro and Akira Hiramoto. Yes, so I received these 5 volumes as review copies, and I will be talking about the ones that I have read up to this point in the reading log. Alright, coming into our final section, we have ourselves the Viz Media section. This is the section that I always put towards the end because I get the most manga from Viz Media because they've had manga for a very long time. So, up first from the Shoujo Beat line, we have ourselves Like a Butterfly, Volume 5 from Sue Morishita. Yeah, it's just a cute little series from the mangaka behind A Sign of Affection. And yeah, I was enjoying it, and I just kind of stopped reading it because, like, the main character isn't necessarily the most interesting character in the world, but it is what it is, so happy to have another volume, and we'll be continuing reading this soon. Alright, up next, it's my Special One, Volume 9 from Momoko Koda. This might be one of my favorite current shoujo series releasing. It is hilarious, it's ridiculous, it's so stupid, but I love it so much. So many great facial expressions, a fantastic side couple who's kind of become the main couple currently, and I do love that for us as the reader. So happy to have another volume, and I can't wait to continue reading it. Up next, an early volume, actually, I got Otaku Vampires Love Bite Volume 3 from Julieta Suzuki. A very silly and fun, like, kind of a, like, slice of life, possibly romance series following the story about this lady here, who is a vampire, and she is an ultimate weeb, kind of a shut-in in a way, just loves talking about her favorite series and loves this main character here. She ends up moving to an apartment by herself and lives next to a person who looks a lot like her stan, her bias, or whatever the hell you want to call it. So it's about their antics and fun and silliness, and as they become friends, and as that guy proceeds to learn more about the vampires in this world. It's an interesting premise, and there's already a lot of great characters. I've been loving this series quite a bit. The first 2 volumes were a lot of fun, and happy to have the 3rd volume now. Alright, coming into Viz Kids, we have ourselves Bakegiamon Volume 4 from Mitsuhisa Tamura and Kazuhiro Fujita. Yeah, really fun kind of like game-esque series, a la like Dragon Drive kind of stuff. It was pretty fun. I read the first couple volumes, and I've been kind of holding off just because it's been kind of hard to find volumes in the first place, but managed to find this. It's not in like the best condition in the world, but for $2 I was like, yeah, I might as well. So yeah, gonna continue reading this series hopefully soon. Alright, up next from Viz's other lines, we got ourselves Beyblade X, Volume 1 from Homura Kawamoto, Hikaru Muno, and Posuka Demizu. And if you don't recognize that last name, that is the mangaka behind the fabled, the amazing Promised Neverland. Yeah, I'm really happy to have this. I've been actually trying to get this volume for a while since it came out, but it has been proven to be difficult to find in good condition. It has been pretty damaged across the board, but went to Kinokuniya recently, and I found it in very good condition, so happy to have this volume, and I cannot wait to read it because I think Beyblade is super cool, and I'm excited to read a fictional story about Beyblade. Alright, up next, picked up Volume 33 of Komi Can't Communicate from Tomohito Oda, and we are almost done with the series, but I will continue to say that it's Komi. Thank you. Alright, up next, decided to pick up the first volume of Reader or Die from Hideyuki Kurata and Shutaro Yamada. I don't know much about this, I'm going to be completely honest. I just know that my wife, right around the time that we started dating, she actually picked up the first couple volumes of this, and then decided to sell it because she was like, I don't know if I'm going to read this or not. So, a few years down the line now, and I've picked it up again, and yeah, interested to see what it is about. Don't know much about what it even is, but I think the cover's pretty cool, and I like that the spines are all colored like this, so so a red looks really nice on the shelf. Alright, from the Shonen Jump line, we have ourselves Shouha Shoten from Akinari Asakura and Takashi Obata. Yes, excited to have this. I love Shouha Shoten. It's been a riot. It's super funny. It's super hilarious. It follows the story of everything that has to do with that comedy style in Japan, where it's like the two people that sit in front of either in front of a mic or just kind of perform. It's great. It's really enjoyable. It tells the stories. It's manzai comedy. That's what it is. And it teaches you all about manzai comedy, how it works, how these people think, react to one another. It's a lot of fun, and I'm excited to have the next volume. Alright, up next, I picked up Sakamoto Days Volume 16 from Yuto Suzuki. A absolutely gorgeous cover we have here. If we're going to be completely honest, Sakamoto Days has probably some of the best Shonen Jump manga volume covers that we've been getting over the past couple years. They just are absolutely gorgeous, and I love them so much. And this one, no doubt, is one of my favorites. But yeah, Sakamoto Days has an anime out. I haven't watched it, because I'm not going to watch it. I don't really tend to watch and read things simultaneously. Very rarely, if I read it, I will very rarely watch the anime. I've heard the anime is decent, but obviously I'm going to suggest the manga all the time. Sakamoto Days, super fun, super ridiculous. Happy to have another volume. Alright, up next, I picked up Volume 12 from Yukinobu Tatsu. This is an early volume because it's supposed to come out in April, but here we are being a time traveler. And yes, happy to have another volume of Dan, and I'm excited to read it soon. Alright, up next, I picked up Juju on That Beat, Volume 25. This is Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 25 from Gege Akutami. And yes, this is the volume that has the extremely iconic, Nah, I'd Win. It did really well on my channel when I showed it on YouTube, and then some person was trying to be cheeky, I guess, and was like, oh, that's not actually what he says. And I'm like, I don't care. That's how it was translated, so I mean, clearly it is legal and correct in some form or another. But anyways, Jujutsu Kaisen, it's been a very fun series, and we're coming towards the end, and you can kind of feel it, but you know, it's been a good time. I've enjoyed myself for what it is. Is it like the best thing in the world? No, I don't think it is, but it is a lot of fun, and I'm happy that people are getting into manga / anime because of Jujutsu Kaisen. Hopefully they'll be able to spread their wings and read other things as well. Alright, up next, decided to pick up Fool Night Volume 4 from Kasumi Yasuda. Probably one of my favorite series that's also releasing right now. It is so good. It's beautiful, it's creepy, it's terrifying, it's got such a specific feel to it where you always feel like you're on edge, uncomfortable, but it's done really well, where you're just so interested to read more, but then you also just get so pissed off about what's going on within the series because it feels so close to real life. Even though this is a dystopian world, the parallels are impossible to not see, to be honest. But yeah, Fool Night, great series. I'm happy to have Volume 4. Alright, up next, Volume 1 of Dogs Red from Satoru Noda. Yep, Yesuri Boss, this is the first volume of the hockey manga by the absolute genius madman Satoru Noda, aka the mangaka behind Golden Kamui. And yes, I did talk about this in the FBI, so if you want to go check out that video and see my opinions on it, go do that right now. Alright, up next, decided to pick up the second volume of Saturn Apartments from Hisae Iwaoka, and I don't know too much about this. I just know that these covers are absolutely gorgeous, and the art style is very unique and different, so interested to see what this series is all about, and yeah, hopefully it's good. And the last thing I picked up, and that is going to be Insomniacs After School Volume 9 from Makoto Ojiro. Yes, this is a fantastic romantic drama series I've been super much enjoying. Great coming-of-age story. Great, it's so well done. I love this series so much. And I'm so happy to have another volume and I get to talk about it at length. So really excited to have this, and yeah, excited to be talking about it again. And before I forget, I actually forgot to talk about one volume, so let me go pull it off my bookshelf really quick. It's a series that I'm surprised I forgot, but I think it's because I left it on the shelf, so I didn't really think about it too much. And that is going to be the absolutely wonderful and enjoyable One Piece. This is volume 108 from Eiichiro Oda. I completely forgot to add this to the stack when I was talking about Shonen Jump stuff. But here we are. It's One Piece. It's fantastic. It's lovely. It's great. It's got such a fantastic story, such great characters, and happy to have another volume and excited to talk about this in the reading log. And that's going to be it for this video. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much for all your support. We're getting inching ever closer to 5,000 subscribers, and that is super crazy in my head. I'm just like, wow, that many people actually want to watch my stuff? That's it means a lot. It honestly means so very much. And I have a question for you. Let me know in the comments below, what have you picked up in the month of March 2025? Like I said, let me know in the comments below. Did you see anything that you're interested to read? Let me know in the comments below. And yes, that's going to be it for this video. You can like, you can comment, you can subscribe. Those are all amazing things. I love it when you give me all that support. It means so much. And yes, that is going to be it. I will see you in the next video, or the reading log. Woo! Anyways, see ya later.